Hey guys, it's Eric Kraus with Bass Assets. I'm in the shop here doing some work, and I wanted to touch on a couple things. I've gotten a lot of questions from you guys about our Alpha Blades. What's the best trailer to use? How do you set them up the best? So I want to clear all that up, hopefully help you guys out a little bit today. I've used them personally. Other people, we've used them and just smashed them on it. I've had guys telling me they're the best they've ever used. I think they're the best just because I wouldn't put it out if I didn't. But I wanted to clear up a few things for you and to kind of give you some ideas how to use them to better manage what the fish want at that time. First off, I want to talk about is the blade. Now, this is just a white blade. We put a V-bend in the bottom of the blade. I don't know if you can see that. And then we put the normal conventional bend at the top, just a little bit. Now our baits, our Alpha Blades, we sell them to be, and when I sell them to you, they're aggressive. They're going to thump hard. They're going to kick all over the place. You know, the harder you pull them, they're not a real fast bend or not a real fast burn back type bait like your conventional springtime baits. But I want to tell you, as you know, the spawn gets over and they everybody stops using those baits. These baits are basically a swim bait with one little adjustment you can do. And it has to do with this top bend. See how that's bent a little bit? If you take and bend that up a little bit more, what you'll do is you'll take away more area, blade area, and allow that bait to be reeled faster, and it'll stay dead true. You know, it'll just go. A lot of times fish want it that way, especially if they're chasing fish, you know, a real slow bait. You know, I use the other way, the more aggressive way with it bent down a little bit. I use that whenever I'm trying to slow it down, if I'm trying to crawl rocks or something. And that gives me the ability for it to kind of do this, and then I'll pull the rod tip a little bit, and that bait will do this, come back. You know, and that's what I want certain times, but other times I want to go with it. So remember that tip. If you guys, and that's the main reason we powder coat our baits, because it has some pliability to where you can bend these things a little bit either way to get what you want, and not have the shiny, you know, a lot of guys put the coats over them, the nickel coat or the gold plated. Well, you move that and that's, you know, you're going to flake off. So give that a shot when you're out there throwing these baits. And a lot of it depends on the trailer you use. I have a couple trailers here I wanted to talk about. The first off is a Zako bait by Yamamoto. Very good trailer. It's good and heavy. It puts a lot of back weight on. It keeps the bait true. But the only thing is you got this blade going real fast up here, and then the tail's just kind of dragging along back here. It's almost like it's dragging the tail. It's okay, and it looks like a fish, so it catches some. Don't get me wrong. But it's not my favorite. Maybe yours. I don't know. Maybe caught more. The next one that I have is a piece of a Senko that I just split the tail. This is by far my favorite one out of all of them. It's heavy enough to keep the back weighted, much like the Zako, but that little tail, when that blade vibrates up here, that little tail is just quivering at the same rate, and it really looks like a fish swimming, to be honest with you. So if you haven't tried that, I know it sounds crazy. We put up 112 pounds in 4 weeks in local tournaments earlier in the year doing that. You might want to give it a try. The next one up that I do like quite a bit, especially when the fish get on, you know, more fish stuff, is the Strike King blade minnow. It's about perfect size. It's got the tail up and down, much like the Zako. It's not quite as heavy, but that same action, that tail just quivers back there whenever it's going. It doesn't feel like it's being dragged. It looks like it's, you know, swimming, honestly, on the Alpha Blades. So that's a good one. I bite just a little bit off, 1/4 inch off, just to give it a flat surface. Love that bait. The last one I was going to talk about is the Razor Shad. It's a great little bait. You know, it's the Elastic Z-Man bait. It's a great bait. It's a great profile, but the one thing about this bait is it's buoyant. It's almost like you don't have a trailer on your bladed jig. So what you may have to do with this bait, and where I use it a lot, is I'll bend that blade, that tip of that blade up a little bit more, because it's gonna be real aggressive without a trailer on it. And this being a light buoyant trailer, that's just what seems to work the best for me. So I wanted to give you those 4 options. Just remember this one thing. On our blades, and I'm sure it's going to be true on other people's bladed jigs, the more top bend you have, the less surface area, so it's gonna allow you to move that bait faster, and it's gonna stay true. I mean, you can burn it and do whatever. The more you bend that top back, now don't get crazy with it like 90 degrees, you don't have to do that. Or excuse me, the more you bend that blade forward, and I wouldn't suggest putting it straight, because then you need a little bit of a lip to raise that blade up, like when you slow it down. That lip raises that blade up. The more you put it forward, the more aggressive that bait's gonna be, and the slower that you're gonna run it. But it gives you the option when you're running it slow to pop it. And even if there's no structure or cover or grass around, we get 90% of our bites popping it out of grass or off a rock or something. But even if none of that's around, that gives you the ability to be running it, pop it, and that bait be running, and just, and then it'll come back. So give that a shot. Remember that. Top blade bent back, faster, truer. Top of the blade bent forward more, the more erratic and slower. I hope this helps you out. Give me a shout, let me know. Thanks, guys.